Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I've been meaning to film this video for a long time. I'm finally filming it. I have a book haul. I got some books from Target, and then I got these books from the free little libraries. So we have 3 free little libraries on campus. You take a book, you put a book in an exchange, and you kind of do that. I recently discovered them like last month, maybe the month before, and I found some good books in them. So I'm gonna start with those books. One of them I have already read, one of them I haven't. So first we have All the Missing Girls. This is by Miranda. It sounded interesting. It's more of a thriller suspense vibe, and I found this one I think like last week or the week before, but it sounded interesting. I just happened to be walking past one of the little libraries and decided to take a peek inside, and I found this one. It's been 10 years since Nicolette Farrell left Coley Ridge. 10 years since she broke up with Tyler, the man she thought she'd marry. 10 years since her best friend Corinne disappeared, never to be heard from again. When the call comes that her father is ailing, Nick is living in Philadelphia, light years away from her younger self. She drops everything to care for her dad, but within days of her return, another girl goes missing, and Nick experiences a terrifying sense of deja vu. As Nick works to unravel what happened to the missing girl, shocking truths emerge about the neighbors, her family, and what really happened to Corinne that night 10 years ago. So there we have it. Interesting. Gives you just enough that she has personal connections to the town, but also what happens to this new girl that goes missing. Her friend went missing, so it kind of brings up the past for her. I actually have like no idea what can possibly happen in this, because they don't really, on the back of the book, they don't really give you that many characters to kind of base anything off of. So we'll see what this is about, but I'm excited. It's no, hold up, 371 pages, so it'll be a nice little read. And then this was her debut novel, so she has like a little bit of a sneak peek of her previous novel, her next novel, which is called The Perfect Stranger. And I'm not sure when this one came out, but I'm excited to read it, and hopefully I like it, and then I can try The Perfect Stranger. And the next one, I've already read this one, All the Dangerous Things. And this is by Stacy Willingham. I found this one in a different little library on campus. Again, this is in that suspense mystery vibe. 1 year ago, Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her toddler son Mason was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room. With little evidence and few leads for the police to chase, the case quickly went cold. However, Isabel cannot rest until Mason is returned to her, literally. Except for the occasional catnap or small blackout where she loses track of time, she hasn't slept in a year. Isabel's entire existence now revolves around finding him, but she knows she can't go on this way forever. In hopes of drawing loose a new witness or buried clue, she agrees to be interviewed by a true crime podcaster, but his interest in Isabel's past makes her nervous. His questioning, paired with her severe insomnia, have brought up uncomfortable memories from her own childhood, making Isabel start to doubt her recollection of the night of Mason's disappearance, as well as a second guess who she could trust, including herself. But she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. And this one actually just came out at the end of 2022. It came out in December. it was a book of the month book, so it says it on the back. But some of the plots in here I was able to pick up on. There were little twists and turns that I was able to predict, but there was one that came out the blue that I actually didn't see coming, didn't even think about, and I thought that one was really good, really clever to add that one in. But I enjoyed this one. It was like a little bit slow for me at the beginning, so it took me a while to finish reading it, but I persisted and it was really good. And there's like, it'll tell you when it switches, because as it says, some of her memories start to fade and some things come up from her past. So it tells you in the book when we're in the present time and then when we're in the past. But all in all, I enjoyed this one. And this one has 326 pages. But she was good. I read this one last weekend actually. Now we're moving on to my Target books. I've actually already read one of my Target books because, like I said, I was supposed to film this video a while ago. I've been putting it off. So this is Killjoy by Holly Jackson. This is basically kind of the start of her A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I've shown all of them on my channel before. I've read them. So this is her series, and this is a new book by her called 5 Survive, which eventually I'll read that one too because I love Holly Jackson. But this is just a novella. It takes place before, so I mean, I read it after. It didn't really mess anything up for me, but it gives you a little bit of insight to Pippa and her friends. And there we have it. 6 suspects, 3 hours, 1 murder. Pip is not in the mood for her friend's murder mystery party, especially one that involves 1920s fancy dress and pretending that their town is an island called Joy. But once the game begins, Pip finds herself drawn into the make-believe world of intrigue, deception, and murder. As Pip plays detective, teasing out the identity of the killer clue by clue, the murder of the fictional Reginald Remy isn't the only case on her mind. Welcome to the murder mystery party of the year. Fans of the hit series A Good Girl's Guide to Murder will love Pip's final detective case in the mystery novella from the #1 New York Times bestselling author, Holly Jackson. And again, I mean, I feel like it's kind of explanatory as to what's going on in the book, but it's just taking you through this party. And like I said, you kind of get to know her friends a little bit more with how they act at this party, and it then kind of leads into the start of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and gives her that push of why she does what she does in the first book. So that was this one. I really enjoyed it. I love the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. And also, I forgot to say, but this gives you like the first three or four chapters in her new book, 5 Survive, which again, I'll get there eventually. I plan to read it, but it gives you that, and then it also gives you a couple chapters of the first A Good Girl's Guide to Murder book. But it has 117 pages, but it has all this extra content in here. And the original price for this was $12.99. I'm pretty sure that's what I got it for too. Oh, actually I didn't. I ended up getting it for $10.39. So there we have it. Moving on. Now the rest of these books, I haven't read them. So here we have Immortality by Dana Schwartz. This is the second one in her series. The first one has been shown on my channel before. I have been waiting for this book to come out because the way the first book ended, it did end on a cliffhanger. Some things were unsolved. So I'm excited to just dive right in to showcase, but also look at it, the little brain. The first one was a heart, because you see it's like the dress in the shape of the brain. The first one on the book was a heart, but also in the shape of a dress. It's really good stuff. Okay. Hazel Sinnett is alone and half convinced that the events of the year before, the Immortality, Betjeman's vile, or figments of her imagination. She doesn't know if Jack is alive or dead. All she can really do now is treat patients and maintain Hawthorne's castle as it starts to decay around her. When saving a life leads to her arrest, Hazel seems doomed to rot in prison until a message intervenes. Hazel has been specifically requested to be a personal physician of Princess Charlotte, the sickly granddaughter of King George III. Soon, Hazel is dragged into the glamour and romance of a court where everyone has something to hide, especially the enigmatic, brilliant members of the social club known as the Companions to the Death. As Hazel's work entangles her more and more with the British court, she realizes that her own future as a surgeon isn't the only thing at stake. Malicious forces are at work in the monarchy, and Hazel may be the only one capable of setting things right. So kind of to catch you up, during this time, people don't believe that women should be surgeons, and all Hazel really wants to do is be a surgeon. So it's kind of like the first book, she goes on this entire journey of being a surgeon, but like she can't take the classes with the other men. And there's also some weird stuff going on at that time. So she's battling all of that while trying to be a surgeon, while also people are trying to set her up for marriage, and she's not really trying to deal with that. So where we are. And then Jack came into her life. Jack is someone who helps her in a way to study for her test to become a surgeon. I don't want to say too much on how he helps her study, but he ends up helping her study. So they form a bond and become a thing. But then something happens at the end of the first book that leaves Hazel to kind of question things about her and Jack's future. And I think we're caught up now. I'm trying not to spoil too much of the book because you just have to read it. There's a lot that goes on and you just kind of have to handle it and take it in. But I'm very excited to continue this journey, and I hope Jack is in this one, because what's being said, it doesn't sound like he's going to be in it, and I kind of want him to be in it. But I'm also excited to see how Hazel in this British court, what's happening there, because again, there were still some secrets and some things left unsaid and unanswered in the first book. So we're looking forward to it. I'm excited. And excuse me, this book has 389 pages. Exciting. The original price for this was $19.99, and I got it for $15.99. Now we have 2 more books to go. Okay. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Schwartz. All I'm saying, if this book isn't good, I am going to be upset. Because the amount of people that talk about this book and all the hype that it gets, I'm expecting great things. There's a second book that's already out. And then a third book is coming out. They're all like standalones, but they're interconnected standalones. And I almost got the second book, but I had already picked out my 4 books from Target. So I was like, that one's gonna have to wait. But also, I need to read this one to see if I'm even gonna like the second one. Yeah, I have read some hyped up books that were worth the hype, and I've read some that not so much. Like, they weren't bad, but like, so we're gonna see. I'm hoping for the best. She looks very thick. She's definitely like the thickest book that I have in this haul today, but we'll see. Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi Witt is on the run, not just from her fiance and a church full of well-wishers, but from the entire life. Although, if you ask her, Naomi's riding the rescue of her estranged hot mess of a twin, Tina, to knock 'em out. A rough around the edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and gash, Tina leaves behind something unexpected. the niece Naomi didn't even know she had. Now she's a guardian to an 11-year-old going on 30 with no car, no money, and no plan. There's a reason this bearded bad boy barber doesn't get involved with high maintenance women, especially not a type A romantic one. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least Nux can do is help her out of a jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and get back to his quiet, solitary life. At least that's the plan. So it obviously seems like Knox is more of the quiet type. He's not really going out. He keeps to himself and he's happy with that. But it seems like Naomi has a whole lot going on in her life, and now she's going to have to take care of this kid that she didn't even know existed. Her twin sounds like absolute we're not trying to deal with it. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what was the twins' reasoning for like leaving her child? I mean, Jackie and Naomi, does she end up coming back? How does the child feel in all of this? And seeing their journey, I feel like their journey is going to be long because of how many pages this book has, because it's freaking thick. It has 554 pages. So I don't know, I'm just wondering what's going to be covered in this book because it's a lot. And hopefully I enjoy it because the series continues. And if I'm correct, the entire series is supposed to take place in Nakamount. Yeah. And this book was originally $18.99, and I got it for $15.19. So we'll see. The cover's pretty though. We'll see. And we're moving on to the last book. I'm very excited for this one, for real. Look at it. Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I've been reading this series little by little. This is book 3. I'm pretty sure I've shown book 1. I know I've shown book 2 on my series. Here's 1, this is 2, and this is 4. They actually didn't have 4 when I was in Target. They only had 3 and 1. So because I saw it and I've been meaning to continue the series, I grabbed it. If y'all know, I showed Twisted Games in my book 24-hour book reading vlog and raved about it because I absolutely loved it, and I see the hype. Like, I understood the hype, why people were hyping it up, and I'm excited to continue because apparently the series gets better and better. And then Anna Huang has another series that's out that I want to read. It has book 1 is out and book 2 is coming out soon. So I need to finish this series before I start the next series by her. Also, this series is an interconnected series, but you do have to read them in order because they're all like friends, but they all just get their own book. The possibility of you is better than the reality of anyone else. Gorgeous, cocky, and fast on his way to becoming a hotshot doctor, Josh Chen has never met a woman he couldn't charm except for Jules Ambrose, the beautiful redhead that has been a thorn in his side since they met. But she also consumes his thoughts in a way no woman ever has. With their animosity exploding into one unforgettable night, he proposes a solution that'll get her out of his system once and for all. An enemies with benefits arrangement with simple rules. No jealousy, no strings attached, and absolutely no falling in love. Outgoing and ambitious, Jules Ambrose is a former party girl who's focused on one thing, passing the attorney's bar exam. The last thing she needs is to get involved with a doctor who puts the sufferer in insufferable, no matter how good looking he is. But the more she gets to know him, the more she realizes there's more than meets the eye to the man she's hated for so long. Her best friend's brother, her nemesis, and her only salvation. Theirs is a match made in hell, and with the demons from the past catching up to them, they're faced with truths that could either save them or destroy everything they've worked for. In the last book, they gave a glimpse that they were leading into Josh's and Jules' story, so I already knew it was coming, and then they gave us a bit of a preview as to what their story was going to be like. So I am prepared for this. Again, she's thick. It's gonna be great. I absolutely enjoy the series, and it just gets better and better. And yeah, this one has 500 pages, so it is my second thickest book in the haul. It was originally $17.99, and I got it for $14.39. Most of these books were on sale, and then the other half are like free. I really didn't spend that much money. It was a good haul, and I'm very excited. I've already read 2 of these books. I do think this will be the next book that I read, because I've been waiting to continue the series after I finished reading book 2. And again, I need to finish the series so I can start Anna's next one. And yeah, I got some good books. I'm very excited for this, and we're gonna keep reading. When I find time to do such a thing, I probably won't be reading until like Easter break, but the books are here, they're waiting, because right now school is it's going, and there's a lot going. So when I get the time, I will be reading my books, but I will show y'all my books again in the video. But Twisted Hate by Huang, book 3. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Immortality, a love story by Dana Schwartz. Killjoy by Holly Jackson. All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham. And then All the Missing Girls by Miranda. That's my book haul. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below. Peace and blessings, my loves.